Hi there, my name is Gabriel Connor. I am a indie game developer, and I just want to showcase a little bit of what I've done and what I've worked and what I'm currently working on right now. So currently, I am employed in the U.S. Air Force, so I do that full time. I am hoping to make this a career of mine whenever I get out. Um, in the meantime, I just spend as much free time as I can. Pretty much any time that I'm not at work, I'm at my computer coding, learning more about game development. Oh, sorry. Um, so I'm gonna keep trying to do that. As I said, I want to make this my full time job. Not necessarily, not for the money or anything like that. I've been playing video games since I can remember, so I would love nothing better than to do it full time. So, anyway, I just want to show off a couple, not show offs, or showcase some of the things I made. So I'll start with this one. This is a game called Defend Us that I was making. This was like my first, I guess, serious game. This is an RTS. I've been playing RTSs for a long time. My first one of my first real games was StarCraft, and like original StarCraft, not Brood War, but I did eventually get into Brood War. But so I've been playing RTSs for a very long time, and I was inspired to make my own RTS. So the basic mechanic of this RTS is most RTSs are built around strategies that involve build orders or units or whatever, or buildings. So for build orders, that'd be more like StarCraft or Command and Conquer, Planetary Annihilation. Units would be more along the lines of like the Warhammer RTS games, and so on. And there was another one that I can't think of at the current moment. Anyway, yeah. So basically, I want to take a spin on that and have a game's mechanics based around the type of resources you consume. So you see here, I have 3. Like I was gonna have 8 or so, but I stopped working on this because it was a bit overambitious, and I knew that it would take me a very, very, very long time to actually finish this game. So because there's just a lot of stuff going on in the coding and whatever. So that brings me to my second game, which I will showcase here in a bit. So this game, just to kind of do, so you have your basic mining system. Now this art is terrible. I will freely tell you that. But I am never planned on being the artist to my games. For this game, I actually had an artist for a bit, but I never got any assets from them, and they eventually got caught up in doing other things and was not able to supply art. I now have another artist for the other game that I'm working on. And we'll possibly go back to this one because I actually really do want to finish this game eventually, because I think the concept is really cool. And I'll go more into that in a bit. So you see here, so to kind of explain, basically the way that this game works is around a cookbook approach to building units. Certain units are going to cost certain amounts of every kind of resource. So right here, as you can see, there is I have iron, zinc, and gold. But I plan putting in like platinum and just other uranium. And the level design will work. The more basic, more common minerals are going to be found closer to your base. It's going to be easier to build, so you can start you can start building your more basic units. But as you go more towards the middle of the map, or towards away from the home base, that's when you start getting more rare minerals. So the ability to rush certain techs to get certain ships early on still exists. However, you have to risk losing valuable mining time for early ships and whatnot. So let's see here, we'll build a couple ships. I don't really want to go into the story yet for... Oh, Jesus Christ. I did not see that coming. I don't know how many of those guys are out there. I don't really want to go into the story yet for these games. Just because they're a bit of a work in progress for the story. And I kind of want to keep those... unless that's something that's going to affect any potential business or whatever, then I will go into it, but I'd rather kind of type it out and not talk about it, just because me trying to explain the stories I make over a YouTube video may seem it'll be a bit silly. So anyway, but just I am a big fan of more story-based games, so large stories will be featured in the games I make. I make games. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the mechanics of games and stuff like that, like Hotline Miami or whatever. I enjoy games that present me mechanical challenges, but my favorite games of all time are ones that have big stories. So like Halo Combat Evolved or Dark Souls, games with these huge worlds. And I'm not saying necessarily making huge worlds, but they also put in stories where there's so much foreignness. It just creates these vast, this intricate web that you want to go out and explore. So I'm gonna take that approach to my stories. So that game, I would say it's decently far along in terms of the engine. There's still some work to be done, obviously, with the UI and UX. There's a lot of there's a lot of things I need to work out with hitboxes and whatnot. So that will eventually all get fixed whenever I get back into that game. I'm going to finish it because that game really means a lot to me. So but yeah, there's a decent amount of scripts and whatnot going on. So, and that's just for one level. All right, cool. Well, I will go into this next one. This next one is... This is not yet really my game. I've been going through a tutorial series on making RPG specific games, so that's kind of like what I've been doing with it so far. Again, for this game I have an artist. I have an artist now, so I plan on making these making more assets and whatnot, and I'm playing this entirely with a controller, which is cool. I didn't think that it would be think that would have been hard to do, but apparently it's actually not too hard with GameMaker. So again, this game is, for right now, it's me learning coding, or not. I have a decent understanding of GML, but me learning designing this specific genre, as well as me expanding. So I hate like having to try and say, oh, well, this will have all this, that, and that, and that, and that, because I don't want to have a bunch of false promises or false hopes or whatnot. But the things I'm going to describe aren't really that hard to do, so they just need time. I'm sure in the next couple of weeks I'll be implementing them. But basically the approach to this game is that the main character is augmented with a robot. The augmentation with the robot allows the main character to have different forms. For right now, before every time that character augments, so when I use the word augments, I'm saying it goes into a different robotically enhanced form, it requires energy. So one of the forms is a AoE form where the character becomes super tanky and moves very slowly, but puts out like a radiation zone around it, which puts AoE damage all around it. And also, every time the character gets shot, it loses energy. The way it will look visually is like Gaara from Naruto, how the sand automatically comes up to defend him. That's the visual. That's what's going to be like visually for this character. For the character getting shot, and that requires it. Basically, anytime that the robot augment is used, it has to. It requires energy. The way that the character gets energy is by going into a very vulnerable vampiric form in which it moves slowly. There's no way it can attack or defend or anything, but any basic enemies, they will kill it in one hit as long as it's not getting shot at, and then they will take the energy from the basic enemy. So of course, so it's not going to be any of the stronger, more tanky enemies. It's not going to be like a boss or anything. It has to be one of the lowest echelon of enemies, which will be scattered throughout each level. The level design I'm taking is really inspired a lot by Hotline Miami. So a lot of room-based, breach and clear as well. So room-based levels, so areas where you can kind of hide and chill out and plan your next move. I really like that approach to level design. As you saw in the demo, there's like the basic movement engine is there. The basic health system is there for attacking enemies. These are not my assets, by the way. These are assets that were provided to me through the tutorial I'm watching from a guy on YouTube called Heartbeast. Awesome guy. And so for right now, all I need to do is start building the augments, which not going to be too difficult. So anyway, that's what I got so far. I've been teaching myself entirely. I've never taken a college class. I've never taken any formal classes on computer science, on anything. I think I took a typing class one time in like second grade. So, this has been just me going on Reddit and YouTube and reading and begging people for help on chats and whatever. But, I am fairly committed. I mean, I wouldn't say fairly. I am committed that this is going to be my what I want to do with my life, so I'm gonna keep learning. And anyway, I hope you guys found something that you like in what I've showcased. Again, the first game, Defend Us, I'm going to be going a lot more in, but for right now I am focusing on my second game. Its working name is Croutons. It's not gonna be called Croutons by the end. I just don't have a better name for it yet. But yeah, I am. That game is going to really start picking up steam here soon. As soon as I can start getting finish up the engine, it'll really start to take off. So, anyway, thanks for watching and have a nice day.